All right, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Connection Hangout. My name is Paul Tyra, and I'm joined by my co-host in Marietta, Georgia, David Asarno. David, are you out there?
Hey, Paul, I am here. How are things in Vegas?
Fantastic. Just got back from the amazing Diamond Summit there in Costa Rica. Nice and tan, skin feeling soft from all the mud we rubbed all over ourselves. It was absolutely phenomenal. Hair on fire from the zip lining, all that great stuff.
Well, it sounds like a great trip, and I just literally got back from Vegas. I was there a week. So
I know.
Unfortunately, I missed you. I was in your I was in your neighborhood.
Yeah, bad planning. You have a good time, and I hear your weather over there is kind of dropping rapidly, huh?
I hear we're dropping rapidly, and my son has a regatta on Saturday, and it should be around 30 degrees when they launch.
Again, skate on top of the water, is it?
Maybe.
All right, fantastic. All right, I want to also mention that we've got Brent Brooks out there. He's moderating our comment thread, so if you'd like to chime in and say hi where you're viewing from, we'd love to hear from you. It should be right beneath the screen. Also, I want to mention this is not a business presentation or a product presentation. If you would like more information on ASEA or the technology of Renew 28, please ask the person who invited you here to be on this Hangout and get back with them afterwards. Some of you may also see a button underneath the screen that says more info. So when we're done, you could also click on that button and it will take you to more information specifically on ASEA, Renew 28, and the business as well. Okay, so it is with great honor and privilege that I am able to introduce tonight's special guest, ASEA founder Verdis Norton. Now, Verdis has a distinguished career leading multi-billion-dollar companies to even greater heights. He served as Vice President of Strategy for Kraft Foods, as an executive and strategic consultant for multiple Fortune 500 companies. In addition to his experience as a corporate executive, Verdis has also developed a proprietary strategy and business planning system now used by a number of companies around the world. His solid business development strategies have been incorporated into all of the divisions of ASEA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome ASEA founder Verdis Norton.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. We know how hectic your schedule is. We really appreciate it.
It's my honor. It's my honor.
I'm going to jump right into it here. And, this past Diamond Summit, one of the very heartwarming moments for all of us there was when Tyler had asked us to share a story of how we, a great memorable experience with Verdis. And I had my whole story and I was ready to share, but I knew I was going to do it tonight anyway again. So I just was listening and just to hear the outpouring of all the associates and the very common thread of the integrity, the values, the character of Verdis Norton really is just phenomenal. So I'm gonna kind of give you my story here, Verdis, tonight. What was that?
I want to hear it.
All right. Well, I remember it was October 5th of 2009, so it's been just a little over 5 years since we first met. And I remember the presentation starting there, and I had spent a little too much time talking to another founder, and so got in the room, sat down, and Dr. Gary was speaking, doing his presentation, and you came up and sat next to me, and you kind of tapped me on the leg and said, "What do you think?" And I looked over, I'm like, "Who are you?" And he said, "My name's Verdis." He said, "Oh, my name's Verdis," and I was like, "Well, that's the guy that's founded this whole thing." I haven't seen a picture of him to this time, so I'm thinking, "Oops, who else here is going to be named Verdis?" Right? So, but it was just that really humble experience, is just you inquiring about the thoughts of someone like me. It was there. I was just really taken away, and that has just went on throughout the years. And I'd just like to share a couple of other things that have stuck out. One of the things that stuck out is, on all of the events, Verdis will ride along in the bus. He'll stand in the lines and wait in the food lines with all of us. And it's just really exceptional because it's not like he's, trying to save money or anything. It's because he really loves to talk and connect with all the associates and hear their feedback and learn from that. Take all that in to continue to make ASEA better and better, and very, very humbling. I remember too, one thing that really stands out. We were on a Mediterranean cruise, and there was a woman who had fallen in the shower and got injured, and Verdis stood by her side. I mean, while she was in the sort of infirmary there, and not only that, the other executives too. They got off of whatever excursion that they were going to be on, and they immediately attended and made sure that she was taken care of. Not only while on the cruise ship there, but they got her safely to Florida after we ported in one of the docks there. They could make sure she got safely there, and they even drove her all the way. Had an executive make sure they drove her all the way back from Florida up to her home there in the New England area. I think she was at. So again, that's really the heart and soul that Verdis has set that standard for, and it has been carried and passed through on to the executive team, and again, it's just part of the ethos and culture of ASEA, and just so grateful to be a small part of this. So thanks so much, Verdis. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you know what I'd like to hear, I think, to start this out, is maybe a special moment that stands out to you with one of the associates that, from your experiences, that you might like to share with our viewers. Could you maybe put a little thought and see what you can share with our viewers on that?
How about a strange one?
Okay, we love strange
one.
Sure.
You know, I was sitting about 4 or 5 years ago, about the time you came in.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting on a Sunday afternoon watching a game,
mm-hmm.
and my son John called, and he said, Rosemary contacted me. You know who Rosemary is?
Oh, yeah.
He contacted me and said, I need your dad right now. And John says, Dad, what are you doing? Can you throw on a sports coat and come down and meet with 12 potential associates that are going to, tomorrow morning, join New Skin? And Rosemary thinks that we can maybe wow them away with ASEA. So I said, well, all right, John, I'll do that. I threw a sports coat on, drove down to meet them where they were staying at a hotel, walked in, and I thought I was going into a very warm, inviting crowd, and I ran into hostilities because they had already inked the deal. They were ready to go to New Skin Monday morning, and now all of a sudden someone's throwing a new wrench into their plans. So they set a chair in the middle of the room and said, sit down. And they said, tell us about ASEA. And I did that, and I had a couple of hecklers that were very abusive. And I held my own, told them the story. And the interesting thing was 2 people decided to come up and visit the ASEA office that night. That was Michael Stern, who is now a Triple Diamond in our company, and Hee-chan, a Korean, very interesting person. So I went up to my office, sat down with both of them, one at a time. Mike said in so many words, I'm in. Hee-chan came in and he said, I only have one question for you. Can I sleep in your home tonight? And I said, you want to do what? And he said, I'm making a decision tomorrow morning, early in the morning, to join another company. And the only way I can find out if you're real is to go sleep in your home. This is late at night. This is 8 or 8:30 at night. So I called my wife and said, how would you like to have a house guest? She said, what? I said, well, make up a bed. And I took Hee-chan home with me. And we stayed up until midnight talking, fixed him breakfast the next morning, and he joined ASEA. Well,
yes,
what a strange thing. Now, I thought all networkers did that. I thought, oh, no, I need a bigger house. I need a bigger house.
I do remember that very clearly.
But it turned out he was just different. He isn't active anymore because he's waiting for us to go to Korea.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been
right?
5.
But it was strange, right?
Yeah, that would have been 5.
About 4 or 5 years.
1 month. 1 month.
Right at the beginning.
5 years and 1 month. Because.
Right at the beginning.
Yes, because I came in right after that. Michael had given me the call shortly after that, and because Michael is my upline, and so that was 5 years and about a month, maybe 3 weeks.
Well, you didn't ask to sleep in my house. I'm really glad about that.
Hey, is that offer still? David,
well, Verdis, you did tell us it was going to be an interesting story.
Different.
Very different. Very different. Well, Verdis, I met you about a year ago, and I was honored to be a guest of Brent Brooks at his Gold Base Camp, and I got to hear your ASEA story firsthand. We had a little small group, and there was about, I don't know, 8 tables, and you picked your chair, and I sat down right next to you. I don't know if you remember it, and we got to speak during dinner, and you told me your ASEA story, and it was actually because of that personal experience at that event with you and the team that I actually decided to commit to building the ASEA business. Now, I know you experienced the technology way before it was called ASEA. So would you be willing to share why you became so passionate about the redox signaling technology? So, and what your product experience was it, and was it your product experience?
Be glad to do that. When I was exposed to it, I was on the board of directors of a little company that had the technology. And they had to convince me that they had a real technology, so they put me in touch with a lot of people that I was calling, and they were all PhDs. They were all at notable institutions like Harvard, UCLA, University of Washington, and other universities like that. And everyone I talked to raved about the way the product behaved, the way they wanted to use it or performed, and also they said, you can drink this product and get a heck of a benefit out of it. And they were telling me anecdotal stories that were too hard to believe. And as I was on the board, they said, we're going to give you a machine, we'd like you to use it. And I said, use it how? And they said, drink it. So I started drinking it. Now, my mother died after she developed Alzheimer's, and it was a sad thing to see. I was 69, and I thought my thinking was getting a little fuzzy. I was really concerned about it. And so when I went on ASEA, it cleared right up. The second thing is I had more energy. I was 69 years old, and I drank this product, and I felt like I was 59 years old, and that's a pretty big deal to me. So I was sold on the technology. The other thing I noticed is I'm asthmatic, and so every once in a while I would get something in my lungs, and first thing you know, I've been in the hospital many times, and I went long period of time with nothing. And I thought, this is not normal. So those are my experiences, and since that time, I've seen thousands and thousands of letters, probably thousands, probably 1,000 letters at least, describing things that people have seen that are too hard to believe and impressive. What?
There's another one calling in.
Yeah.
It's letters and it's telephone calls.
Yes. Yeah, it is truly amazing. As we go around too, and a lot of us go around speaking, people coming up to us now as being kind of ambassadors for ASEA. It's just amazing. It's amazing, and for people to take time to write it down and send it to you is powerful.
For every letter I have, there's probably 10 more that didn't write. It's kind of interesting to note too that Tyler called me tonight, and he said, I met with a gentleman today that owns a business in Utah Valley. And I brought up that, maybe my dad's company would be interested in using your products. And he said, what is it? He says, oh, my goodness. He says, I'm taking it myself, and it's helping me do all of this. And he says, my wife is on it, and she's doing this. He says, ASEA is starting to spread everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, all good.
Very good. Very good. Now, let's shift gears here a little bit and kind of...
I saw that. Be careful of that.
Let me share a little bit about, some people aren't familiar with Verdis's great sense of humor, so I figured I'd take the time for Verdis maybe to explain this.
How does anyone explain that, right? All right, let me explain. When I first met you, Paul, you were clean shaven and had a very nice haircut, and you looked like very proper. After you joined us, all of a sudden you started growing long hair, and first thing you know, there was an elastic around it, and then there was a ribbon around it, and it got longer and longer. And I kind of laughed. I said to you a couple times, your outfit isn't complete. You need a sword. Yeah. You're going to have a top knot like the Japanese. You need a sword. So I was in a store one day, and this is a kind of a high-end collectible store. And I saw that sword, and I thought, I know, I need to buy that for Paul. So I bought it, and I threw it up on top of a credenza, and I had it there for about a year. I had to wait for the right moment. And we were in a meeting one day, and the hair was getting longer and longer. It was rolling down your back, and I thought, today is the day. So I walked into that sword. Now, I had reservations because the sword is very sharp, as you probably know, right?
Oh, yeah.
I thought about wiring it shut. I didn't know if I could trust you with that sword. But anyway, we had a good time with it, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now everyone else wants me to give them a samurai sword.
Well, they're gonna have to grow their hair halfway down their back to be able to get it.
I'll tell them that.
Right.
For me, it would take probably 5 years.
No one.
It's not happening anyway.
Hey, Paul, have you cut yourself with it yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
You ever try shaving with it?
What do you do?
Yeah.
You get in front of a mirror with it?
Hey, I'll never tell.
So, Verdis, one of the things that our viewers are wondering, what's your current take on the status of ASEA? Are we behind? Are we ahead? Where you plan with our growth schedule?
Well, I've learned one thing in network marketing. If you grow too fast, you fall very fast. I didn't know that initially. But like all companies, we want to sustain growth on a regular basis. And we have done that. You know, the compound annual growth rate for the first 3 or 4 years is 73%. We're going to do something less than that this year. We've slowed the business down a little bit as we put infrastructure in place, but we'll do very well this year, and we will actually exceed plan. What I believe happens in companies like this is something will happen that we can't foresee, and all of a sudden the consumer base discovers that they need to have this product in their life. And when that happens, and that will happen with this product, the right person sometime will go on a TV show or something, and it'll turn this on. That's why I wanted to put the infrastructure in place that we did this last year, because when that happens, you can't catch up. So we made sure that all the infrastructure is in place now to take this company to $1 billion or more. And we could do that in short order. So are we doing all right? We're ahead of our plan. So when we sat down the first of the year, we said, let's at least do this. We're surpassing that. So I think we're about where we should be. Now, a couple of interesting facts. There are 25 to 2,800 network marketing companies, depending on who you talk to, around the globe. 845 of those are tracked by network marketing, MLM tracking, I think it's called. And if you look at, right now we're ranked number 73 for popularity. And this year we'll firmly be in the top 100. So 2,800, we're in the top 100. So 4 going on 5 years now. And we are growing very well every year. I think we're in great shape.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So you mean 73 for popularity, but when you're talking about the top 100, you're talking about like actual performance and revenues?
Yes, yes. We'll be firmly in the top. We're probably in the top 100 right now. Just about. Just about. Within a couple months, we'll be in the top 100.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So let's talk a little bit about this upcoming convention where you're going to be retiring at. Really? Can you really retire? And if
you're not allowed to.
Yeah. If so, what are you going to be doing?
I don't know. I don't think that I can really go away. But you know, we needed to send a signal. I'm 75 years old now, and we thought it was important to send a signal out that I can't keep going indefinitely, and I may not have the stamina unless I drink a lot of ASEA to continue going the way that I'm doing it right now. So maybe it's a tailing off. Maybe it's a tailing off. I would think that I would be attending many of the major events, but we needed to send that signal out.
No, we fully agree. I mean, we all love you, and it is amazing for you to keep getting on planes all the way to Europe, back and forth, and getting off the planes, jumping into meetings. And for those of you who have been to meetings, you'll know Verdis is usually one of the first ones in the room and the last one to leave. And and I know that we've always been trying to be more respectful and conscious of that, and I know Susan, his assistant there, does such a fantastic job there of making sure that she gets him out at a decent time. But otherwise, Verdis will. He's got the biggest heart in the world, and he would stay there till the very end. So we all respect your definitely your health and want you to be in the best health as possible.
Well, I think part of the reason is my wife. She said, "When are you going to retire?" She said, "You don't know what the word means."
Right.
We're trying to help her out a little bit too.
I was going to say maybe she's the one I should be. Maybe she's the one I should be asking that question to. What are you going to be doing after you retire?
You should. But Paul, I stay and I spend time with the associates because I really do think the world of them. I love them.
Absolutely.
They're giving their heart and soul to build this company, and I appreciate it. And you can't fake it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't. No one would ever say that.
Now, speaking about high caliber and high quality and not being able to fake it, my first experience of you personally in ASEA's training was at base camp, and you actually taught some unbelievably amazing training. And I came expecting a lot of rah-rah, and I left with some of the best high-level corporate executive training that I've ever experienced. And by the way, I used it afterwards within my own company.
I love it. That's great.
It's actually amazing. And because of this, ASEA has been able to attract some extremely high caliber executives, and many like myself who had not committed to a business in the network marketing industry before. And I'd like to say mainly because people like myself and these executives wanted to work with and learn from you. Can you give a specific example of how having this high caliber of talent has allowed us to get past some major hurdles?
Yes, I can. And Dave, I feel the same way. I haven't ever been in network marketing, didn't want to do that, but this product is so extraordinary, I thought we have to do it. We have to get it out to the world. But we have had a few situations where we've called on people in my past, and Tyler and his associates. We had a situation in Germany, and we actually went in using some contacts that we had to get that corrected and get the product freed up, so that there were some registration issues that we had. We had problems in Norway that we were able to rectify using, again, contacts through StratLink, the process I developed that led us to some other people that could help us do that. And what I see today is we're attracting, I think, in part, but they're saying now you're ready. You've kind of proven yourself. And I didn't realize that a lot of the big players wait for 5 years, and if you hit that milestone, then you're real. And that's what I'm starting to see today.
Got it. We kind of lost you a little bit, David. Did you lose a little bit of the video feed for a little bit?
Yes, I did. I didn't know if that was on my side or on Verdis' side.
Yeah, Verdis, I guess you came back, but that one little piece we kind of missed right after you said there was a challenge there in Germany that was overcame with some of the contacts you had. What kind of happened after that?
Well, we had there's a bunch of things. Number one, we had Germany, Norway. We've been able to rectify that because of some contacts we've had, and also because of reputation. We had an issue with Hill Knowlton, who is our PR person around the world. They have offices in 93 different countries, and they wouldn't represent us until they sat down with me, and they said, this is a real company. And they now represent us, and they're very supportive of us and really helping us around the globe. And then the other issue is today, as we now start attracting larger and larger distributors, because a lot of them have waited for the 5-year period to be up. Mm-hmm. A lot of them believe in that old mantra that you can't jump into a company until they're 5 years old. Mm. And now all of a sudden we're hitting the 5-year mark, and people are more interested. And as they come in, one of the things that's intriguing to them is that someone's coming in from outside the industry and building a company right, and being audit compliant and doing everything right, putting the policies and practices in place that you need to sustain a company. So I think it really has helped a great deal, and I think it'll help us more as we go forward.
And by the way, I agree. It's that strong foundation and building that base. There's no way you can ever go to that $1 billion mark effectively if you weren't able to build that structure and foundation like you have. And I commend you for that.
That's a very
well,
good...
I think maybe I overdid it at the convention. You know, I kept stressing the infrastructure, but for me, that infrastructure is the enabler to take this company where it needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
That infrastructure is in place today.
Fantastic. But it's a very good point, Verdis, and there are people out there, especially, you know, if you think about it, if someone's making $50,000, $100,000 or more a month in income, before they even consider going somewhere, they do want to see some performance history. And where we're at right now, the performance that we've demonstrated with product efficacy, of course with ASEA being on the market now for 5 years, and even the short history with Renew 28 for just since the beginning of the year, just strong, you know, retention, strong, you know, usage, consumption, low return rates, you know, all these markers have been evidenced, and then of course the business success and that we're around continuing growth. You're absolutely right. More people are starting to now look at us more seriously, and we can see the maybe seedlings of the company getting to that point where it can go vertical. So let's take a look at 5 years down the road from now. Do you have any visions on what ASEA might look like then?
Well, I hope it'll be a $1 billion company, and we'll just have to wait and see. But it'll be a lot bigger than it is now, but it probably will hit $1 billion. A lot of it depends on a couple things like Renew.
Mm-hmm.
Renew is just getting started, and now I'm finding out that the people in Hollywood are discovering Renew right now.
Oh, right on.
It's pretty amazing. Oh, it's pretty amazing. If you knew the people that have gone on in Hollywood, you'd be a little surprised right now.
Really?
And we have people stepping up saying, I want to be the spokesman.
Wow.
And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So it took a little while.
Well, that chuckle right there makes me want to. I'm listening.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you. But it is pretty amazing who's using this product now. And apparently they've seen the pictures of people who brought it in. Some way they're finding out that this is doing some remarkable things. And people that I used to admire when I was 25, 30 years old are now on the product.
Well, you know, it makes a lot of sense since you guys, you know, we had Ingrid Seaburn down there in Australia, who is kind of a skincare specialist to the stars, even in Hollywood over here. I was wondering if that at some point would start to get out in that space.
Oh, it's out now. It's out now, and they're just starting to build right now. So, you know, as we continue to market this product and people find out that it really does work and what it does, and then I think it's going to help us with the ASEA side of the equation. And I think our future looks very bright. That's what I think.
Fantastic. Well, Verdis, do you have any final parting thoughts that you would like to leave everyone with?
Just hold on and let's build this as fast as we possibly can. I'm looking forward to the next 5 years, even though I'm going to be retired. I'm going to be out there moving around. I'm going to be trying to egg people on. Let's get there sooner. Let's get there sooner. What do you think? Paul, I'm going to call you every once in a while. I may even give you another sword once we hit $1 billion.
Right on.
We'll get a bottle in everyone's hand.
There you go.
I love it.
Fantastic. All
Hey,
right.
let me leave you with, well, I better not. I was going to tell you a story. I was struggling a little bit when I was on this last trip.
Okay.
And someone said, who was it? It was David Silverman. He said, Verdis, you don't even know your own product. If you use this product, that problem will go away. And, you know, I used it and it went away. And he says, are you nuts? It's your product.
Yeah.
You didn't know that problem would go away. And I really honestly didn't know.
Yeah,
But I do now.
sometimes we get spoiled and forget about things. But you know what? On that point, we had customs hold up the ASEA, shipment while we were there in Costa Rica too. So I know there were a lot of hurting puppies. I brought a few pouches, but kind of had to spread that out through the whole trip. But I know we had some hurting puppies, especially after some of the activities that we did.
But you know, if you have someone like Susan,
Mm-hmm.
she put ASEA in her bag for myself and for Tyler. We didn't know that she was going to do that. So
She's
we
awesome.
could have sold it for a lot of money to you guys.
It became a very hot commodity, it sounds like.
It was.
Yeah, Susan is the best. I will tell you that.
He's great.
Well, thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you very much for having me on your chat tonight.
Oh, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time. Everybody, Verdis Norton, ASEA Founder.
Hey, thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, super. Thanks, Verdis. And
All right, thank you.
thank you, David, so much for being such a great co-host out there, David Asarno.
My pleasure. And let's give a big thanks to Paul Tyra for putting this together every week.
And we also got to thank Brent Brooks out there for moderating our comment thread. Be sure to chime in, say hi. We'd love to hear from you. And again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We look forward to seeing you on next week's Hangout. Go out, have a fantastic rest of your evening, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Good night.
See you later.